Hey everybody, what is up? This is Chip the Duck 113, and I really wasn't ever planning to do a commentary on this channel, but with the recent news, as of about a week ago, that Toontown's closing in exactly 1 month, I thought I might as well, that this is a good time to actually do a commentary, and do what I can to the best of my ability to keep the game open. Now the odds of someone from Disney, someone affiliated with Toontown actually seeing this, pretty slim, but in just the little case scenario that someone does, this could be a big difference maker. And I'm going to talk to you guys about my personal experience about why I play, why I started playing, and then 4 or 5 other people's stories that they shared with me about why they also play the game. And while you're listening to this is just 4 or 5 accounts of people playing this game. Imagine the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of other stories about these kids maybe dealing with problems in real life, anxiety, social problems, disabilities. Think of all those stories, the thousands, the hundreds of thousands of stories, and this is just 4 or 5 different accounts about people that just play the game to get away from stuff. So, beginning with kind of a quote. There have been several headlines on CNN about Toontown's closing. A lot of people, commenting, giving their input about why they play the game and about why, they started playing. This is in an article on CNN.com. This is a producer note. It's by Bloodwolf8. He's 32 years old. And that actually brings me to my first point. On Toontown, everybody is just a toon. It doesn't matter if you're 6 years old, if you're 16, 40, heck, 80 years old. I know kids that play the game, college people, parents, grandparents play the game. Everyone is equal on that game, and that's why for this game, this is basically a gateway for people that are dealing with problems just to get on this game and be in a much better world. Anyway, the first quote, like I was saying, 32 years old, a user in Singapore, he says he wants this game to stay open, not for him, but for the many kids and adults who depend on this game to get through everyday's life problems. The ones with cancers, with disabilities, with low self-esteem, with no friends in real life. This game's a home to us, a place where we can be who we are, where we can read, just be normal without discrimination and judgment. That's pretty powerful because it's true. For, I would say, probably over 50% of Toontown players, they deal with stuff in real life. Family problems, social problems, anxiety, depression, you name it. Probably over 50% of Toontown players deal with something in real life. And you think about, Toontown's losing money, but they still have thousands, hundreds of thousands of users that still play the game pretty daily. And to take that away from them, it's just sad to think about. I feel like Toontown is really thinking about the money. Disney's just thinking about the money in this case. I really feel like they're not actually thinking about the individual people. Now, it could be totally wrong. I really could. But that's my personal opinion. I really don't feel like Toontown, that Disney is thinking about the individuals in this case. Now, this is a story from someone on Facebook. Her real name is Rachel, but her toon is Clover Princess Roxy. And this is a pretty long story. I'm going to pick out some pieces just to tell to you. She starts off by saying, "It's unfortunate that this is my last resource to contact you about Toontown." She wrote this to Disney. I really hope you receive this, and I'm upset to hear about Toontown closing. Many people have their story, and this is hers, so please do not ignore this, for it would wreck my heart more. She started playing at a young age when Toontown was just made, so I guess about 10 years ago probably, and that was even before Disney even bought it. All 3 of her sisters had a toon, and they would all fight over the computer because it was all on one account, so only one of them could play at a time, and they had a membership, and let's see, they loved the customization that they could pick out their own toon, the clothes, and even the name. It would really represent them. And that's really good because, like I've been saying over and over, people deal with stuff in real life and this is basically their secondary persona, their other face, and honestly, for some of these kids, it's actually a better face. Anyway, her parents split, and she wasn't too disappointed because she knew Toontown would always be there. Toontown helped me through school when she felt low, because I knew I could count on my friends and to boost my spirits. As I grew older, she outgrew Barbies, teddy bears, but never Toontown. Toontown to me was the coolest thing on earth. I still believe that to this very second. I don't think I will ever be able to think differently. My first toon was a duck, a purple female duck named Roxy. I no longer possess that account. I went through a variety of toons trying to decide what worked best for me, and I finally fell in love with my former tall pink female cat named Clover. I spent as much money as my parents would allow me on Toontown, bought more game cards than any one child should have been able to, spent more than $100 between her and her mom combined. She remembers watching the commercials, and she loves the 3-minute video or so when you first load Toontown. It just brings back a lot of memories, a lot of very happy memories, and Toontown has kept me away from this dark side. I've met so many people who would literally be dead right now if Toontown didn't exist. Taking away Toontown will make you look bad due to the many suicidal players who live for Toontown. That's important. It's unfortunate to think about that kids deal with depression, suicidal thoughts. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I've met so many great friends on Toontown who have made me both laugh and cry. It's nice to be able to know that there are other weirdos like me who love the game. It's nice to be able to count on people besides your family. I'm popular at school, but out of the many people I've met and befriended, I've only really shared my passion for Toontown with one or two of my great friends. Now this is great also because Toontown isn't just a world to meet people who you don't know, try to make online friends, but it's also a place that you can go with your real life best friends. She knows she's not the only one experiencing heartbreak over this. She says, "My sister and I have recently shared the Toontown experience with our handicapped stepsister, and it has made her a happier kid. It has changed my life and made me a better person. When Toontown closed for an update yesterday, I didn't even think that it could be because you were shutting Toontown down. I'm sorry to hear that it is." And she basically says, if you give us one more shot, if you give the Toontown community one more shot, we will raise a lot of money and get you maybe that debt back, get Disney that debt back that maybe they have now. Getting to the end, Toontown is my first love. I've made amazing friends, and I've only been about to connect with them through Toontown. Please, Disney, make this kid's come true. Make this kid's dreams come true one last time. Don't delete my life. Now that was a pretty long message, pretty long story, and I only picked out about half of the story to tell to you, and it's pretty powerful. Basically, she's pretty popular in school, but Toontown is still a gateway to get away. Started playing it a long time ago, shared it with her handicapped sister, and she loves it. And that's just one of the many stories, one of the many happy and sad stories, I guess I would say. It's like a happy story because of overcoming stuff, but it's also sad because it could all be over very soon. Now let's see. This is also from an article on CNN. And basically what this one is about, here's a quote. "When a virtual world closes, its users lose many things all at once. A living, breathing community with its own unique culture, slang, and lore. An accessible and familiar hangout with regulars and familiar faces. An online identity and persona that they're emotionally invested in and cultivated over time. And a social network of friends who have shared many experiences together." That's so true. And then it goes on to say, "This game is a home to us, a place where we can be who we are, where we can just be normal without discrimination and judgment. That's right, like I was saying before, it doesn't matter. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, 10 years old, 20 years old, 40 years old, 80 years old. Everybody is just a toon, and that makes people feel so good. It's really like a sense of security in a way. And let's see, a couple of facts that were also in this article. The person that made the article, his name is Yi. He found 24% of players had confided personal issues or secrets to online friends that they would not have told to real-life friends. The online communities can feel just as real as their personal worlds. 41% said the friends they made online were comparable or better friends than the ones they had in real life. I can almost say the same. I've met some awesome people on Toontown, and honestly, they've been awesome enough where I actually made a Toontown Facebook account, to continue to talk to them, because one day it was inevitable that the game was going to close, and unfortunately, we're getting to that time, but I really hope it doesn't, and I really hope that someone from Disney, someone from Toontown, is watching this video and can see just these 4 or 5 stories that I'm talking about. These are just 4 or 5 among the thousands. Let's see, this is a story from a girl named Whitney. She lives in New Orleans. And this one is a little bit different. She really didn't deal too much with social problems, anxiety, or whatever. This is more of a way that she killed time in, it's hard to explain. I'll just tell the story right now. Basically what she says: in 2005, my home was destroyed by Hurricane Katrina and my family lost everything. I was a severe asthmatic and allergic to the mold outside, so I could never go out and play after school. All my friends had moved or were still displaced from the evacuation process, so Toontown was my only recreation that I enjoyed. I gained friends and people that I talk to still to this day and cherish every day. Even though my toon was banned for unfortunate reasons out of my control and I lost some memories emotionally, Toontown has affected me greatly. It was my support system, and the people I met killed the hours of time when I felt hopeless, like I'd never have a home again. And while my home is being rebuilt, I found myself a true home in the friendship circle I established in Toontown. I grew up with the game, and it's an integral part of my childhood. I'm 16 years old now, and I'm 5, and if I could go back in time, I would not change a thing. Without Toontown, I would have been affected by all the disaster and depressing scenes that surrounded me and were once all I ever knew. As I grew up, I became depressed, and life happens, I guess. It's never easy, but I still always had those same people. That's pretty powerful. She lost her home, she was allergic to the mold, so she couldn't go outside, so Toontown was the way that she had fun. Just a couple more quick stories. I know this video is pretty long. Here is actually a petition. The petition as of yesterday has 11,000 signatures, and it's only been a week. Wow, only a week and already 11,000 signatures, so clearly a lot of people really still care about this game. And the petition says, to some it was more than just a mere game. It was a childhood, adventures, exploration, meeting new friends, and so much more. It had a lot of meaning to us, and it really does. It really does have a lot of meaning to us. Me, people in these stories, and like I said, the hundreds of thousands of other people. This is from someone that wants to stay anonymous. So basically she says, so a while back when I started playing Toontown, I was very shy, and I really didn't have any friends to hang out with or chat with necessarily. Toontown would be my gateway to access all that, while not really being shy at all. I'd made friends with people and be able to lively have conversations with them, compared to those peers in real life. Toontown has been a great stepping stone for me to be able to conquer that. I've also had family issues throughout the years, so Toontown was a great, safe haven for me to go. It was a place I'd attend when I wanted to simply forget about the rest of the world for a little while. It was a place where I could be happy, even when I wasn't my happiest of states. And that's not the most powerful story in this entire thing, but this really gets to the point of, like I said, probably over 50% of Toontown players dealing with stuff in real life, even if it's not too bad, even if their world is okay, if it's fine, Toontown is still a great getaway, or like she said, a great safe haven. One last story before this video ends. This one is by Paul. His tune is named Pollution, and he says, "The reason why I play Toontown is because of my childhood. I always loved the game no matter how old I get, and he's 14 years old now." That's the exact same thing for me, and I'm 4 years older. I'm actually 18 right now. It just brings back so many memories with my mom and everything, and me crying over not having a membership. It's just a part of me forever and always, and I'm upset that it's closing, and hopefully it doesn't. I love you, Toontown. So that's basically just sums it up. He's upset it's closing. He doesn't want it to close. Hopefully it doesn't. And I really hope it doesn't either. Obviously, everyone that signed the petition, 11,000 plus people in just a week, obviously they hope it doesn't close either. Headlines have been on CNN, NBC, that I've seen, and probably throughout the next 3 or 4 weeks, several more. The only big rumor I've heard about Toontown staying open is by a guy named Jesse Schell and Schell Games. Jesse Schell actually helped develop the original Toontown, and he's been thinking about buying it back. He's hesitant because of all the legal stuff that goes along with it, but it's still possible that he will. And guys, if you can tweet this to him, if you can, I don't know if he has a Facebook, if you give it to him on Facebook, this video, along with all the other videos that people have made, maybe there's a small chance that he actually buys the game back. You know what? People have been talking about that Toontown hasn't updated in a few years. I really don't even care that it hasn't updated. I'm totally fine with it just staying the way it is. What I really don't want, and the only thing I don't want, is for it to close. That would just be so sad for not only me, but the thousands of other people that have played this game throughout the years. So guys, that's basically it. Thank you for listening to these stories. It was about 15 minutes plus. And, these are just a few of many thousands of different stories. So if you can just leave this a like, spread it around a little bit. Let's do our best to keep Toontown open. We still got 3 or 4 weeks, and let's get it done.